Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars and welcome to another First Impressions video. Today I'm taking a look at Shadows of Doubt for the PlayStation 5. Now what is Shadows of Doubt, you might be asking? Well, this is a game I've actually been really looking forward to on PlayStation. I had my eye on this last year, I believe it was, when it was released on PC. And this really, the best way to describe it is it's a procedurally generated open world detective game. Now when I first glanced eyes on this, I was like, oh no. You know, way back last year I saw like trailers for this and that kind of stuff, and I've got to be honest, I'm not a fan of like pixelated games sort of thing. But when the more I read about this, the more I thought this could be an absolutely fantastic game. I love detective games, I love detective stories. They can be, for me, the most fun games to play on consoles. I love my Poirot games, Sherlock Holmes games, LA Noire, all that kind of stuff. I just love like playing a detective in games. It can be a lot of fun if done right. And this one is, as I've said, it's procedurally generated. Now when you go into this game, it gives you the option to kind of do a little bit more of like a structured game. You can go into it and it'll send you into a game that it's kind of constructed itself, ready for you, and there's like an introduction investigation that's been constructed for you to kind of introduce you to the game and the controls and all that kind of stuff. Or you can just go into it all procedurally generated and just go into like, forget the intro, just go into the game. And I've tried both ways. I've put about 4-5 hours into this so far. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm a patient gamer. I'd like to think of myself as, you know, a quite intelligent gamer with certainly with games like this anyway. But I've got to tell you guys, this game does not hold your hand really at all. When I tell you that this game is you being a detective, it's absolutely you being a detective. You've got to piece all the puzzles together here, and it's, you know, from needle to thread. It is, in some ways it's massively frustrating because we're so used to having his hands held in games these days. But in other ways, the more you get used to it, and I'm just starting now to kind of get used to how the game works, get used to how you do the investigations a little bit. I'm nowhere near where I need to be yet. The game starts getting a lot of fun at that point. Now, as I've said, you know, if you choose to do like the introductory investigation, it will kind of explain the game away to you as best it can. There's no voice acting here, so it's all text-based, the game itself, but also like the introduction, the first investigation that it puts together for you by way of like an intro into the game. It does help to some degree, and there is like ways you can kind of read up how you should do certain things. There's like it's like help sections sort of thing. But the UI takes a lot of getting used to here, like the controls, the UI. It's not necessarily designed for a controller, this thing, so it does take a little bit of getting used to it. It's quite janky. The game itself doesn't run brilliantly. There's like it sticks ever so slightly now and again as you're kind of walking around. It kind of just does this weird sticky thing. And to conduct an investigation, basically, once you've kind of completed like the intro investigation, which I'll be honest, the first time I played it, I didn't. I got completely lost. So I kind of went into it again, with like a procedurally generated world. And then you just kind of wander around, and then a murder will take place, and there'll be like a thing come up on the screen telling you that there's been a murder, or like a crime's been committed. So you've got to kind of make your way to the crime scene, which is easier said than done if you kind of don't know how to navigate the map and stuff. And there is a way, once you figure out how to kind of navigate your way around the city, there's a way to kind of put it on. You can kind of click like a thing an arrow that'll take you there, or you can just click on like auto and it'll walk you there automatically if you want to do that. And then you get to the crime scene, but you know the police aren't really going to welcome you. You know, you're not a detective for the police force or anything. You're like a independent detective, so you've got to basically sneak in, not get caught. If you do get caught, you've got to think of a way to get out of there quick, like an air vent or hide in cupboards or wardrobes, the sort of thing. You can't be getting caught in there, because if you get caught, there's consequences. There's fines. There's all sorts of things. So then you've got to kind of, investigate the crime scene, find as many clues as you can as to the person that's been murdered, why they've been murdered, and kind of piece it all together. Then you've got to go to the city hall and pick up like a case form, so you can build like your evidence from there before you can kind of resolve the case. So you've got to piece the puzzles together. You've got to kind of go to different locations. You might have to tap into phone calls, but you've got to avoid like security systems. So there's quite a little bit of stealth here, but the stealth is really janky and very, very I don't know if old-fashioned is the right word, but I mean, I'm not a fan of stealth games anyway, but you've got to kind of work your way through the puzzles. There's lockpicking involved. You've got to break into people's computers, read emails, look through every nook and cranny for clues at a crime scene before you can kind of go around, interview people, ask them questions. Some people won't be helpful at all. You can kind of bribe them with money. I mean, it goes on and on and on. I mean, and it's very, very deep and complex stuff, this here, guys. Now, I'm going to obviously play this a lot more, and I've got a feeling I'm going to have to really play this a lot more before I can give you a detailed review. Because at the minute, I'll be honest, I'm not convinced with the game. I'm hoping that there'll be a light bulb moment at some point where I'll really start figuring out the investigations a lot better, and I'll be piecing the evidence together a bit better, understanding how the evidence board works a little bit better, and it all flows a little bit better. I'm kind of hoping that kind of comes within the next 2-3 hours, and then beyond that, I suspect it's going to be an absolutely fabulous game, but I'm not sold on it yet. I'll have to be honest, guys. So if this is, I mean, it's not an expensive game. I think it's like £20, something like that. So it's not as if it's going to break the bank if you can't really wait. But at the minute, I'd either suggest you wait for the review that I'd hope to get up in well, as quick as I can, or just wait for a sale at this point, because there's a lot of things that I think people are going to find a bit of a struggle with this game. Obviously the way it looks, it's got a very unique, obviously, art style to it. It is very janky. There's that weird stickiness that goes on, and it's quite brutal in the sense of, it doesn't give you an arm around the shoulder of this game at all. You've got to figure it out from A to Z, and before you can kind of get to the point where you're solving the case. So yeah, take with that as what you will, guys. I will leave it at that for this first impressions video, and I will try very, very hard as soon as possible to get an in-depth review up for you guys. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. There's about another quarter of an hour, 20 minutes of gameplay for you guys to check out if you want to see what the game looks like, what it feels like, and let me know in the comments, guys, what your thoughts are on this game. So thanks for joining me.
once. Secrets ain't no good when the rat... chewing on your tongue. You should have heard him, Gil. Oh, he spilled gold. Crows dropping right at his mouth. Now, if you were to sing me a tune or two in that nice voice of yours... How would you like that one? You don't get it, do you, Duchess? You think your pal Lenny's gonna come get you? He's up there even now with the commissioner on the 34th floor, sipping French champagne. I'm on my way to join him. Pop his cork, so to speak. But not you. Hey. Boys, take him to the PS5. Only the best for a Duchess. Bon voyage!
My grandpappy, he always said things were better in the olden days. And when it comes to Old Wheel bourbon, I think he was right. Old Wheel is cask-aged in genuine... French oak for a real true taste of the past. Old Wheel bourbon. Let's roll back the clock.
Good evening, one and all. I'm Stark Sam, your loyal host. Glad to be with you once again in the legendary Gemstead Bullet-Rome. Direct and refreshed from a... electrifying downtown. New to lose. Glad to be with you this evening as the Kensington Blues take on the Elgin Proteans. Yes, we're expecting fireworks tonight as our teams get ready for what promises to be an explosive tete-a-tete. Playing in today's match we have, for the Blues, Enola Roller Jones, Mickey Esposito, Christo Mystery. For the Proteans, Jean-Luc Trotty Patois, Lynn the Spin Teon, Ray the Play Vargas. Hanging around from the lobbing team, it's straight into position for a long throw. And look at that backspin. Just what we've come to expect from the veteran. How will the opposition respond? A high-handed demi-lob to bring the jack down 8.5 meters from the plate. It's right up against the piglet's cheek. Now that's what I call a scratching. And the next player is up to the plate. Curls all the way outside, ball one. A long way for the action. The Corps are going to have something to say about that one. Score! That's 2 on the board. The Blues take the lead. And now a word from our sponsors. Jim Stetter are very happy to be your hosts. They're the true blue pal in the green bottle, made with 100% hops extract. It's the taste of the game. Another player stepping up to the mark. It's right up against the piglet's cheek. Now that's what I call a scratching. We haven't seen a play like that for quite some time. There it goes. Risking 2 balls, just inches from the jack. Let's see if the opposing team can exploit the situation. The opposing side is up. Let's see. See how they answer. That's a fastball, snapping straight to the center of the piece. Here it rolls as the second pointer races to reach the circle. And look at that backspin. Just what we've come to expect from the veteran. The opposing ruler is warming up that arm. That's a fastball, snapping straight to the center of the piece. Cooler than a cola, and twice as nice. There it goes, risking 2 balls, just inches from the jack. Never a dull day when these 2 teams are on the field. The Terror is taking time with it. And the ball curves. Too far, 1 foul. No, ma'am, there's nothing better than a stetter. No score. Excitement across the dome as Apple Kruger enters the stands, here to watch her old pa's favorite game.
Quand nous parlons, les gens écoutent. Responsable, fiable, temps réel. Chaque minute de chaque jour. Candor.
Uncle Eden sure did love his baseball. Next ruler in first position and facing off. It's right up against the piglet's cheek.